Well, what's the crack? How are you getting on? You're all very welcome to episode 92 of Ramble Pod for the 15th of June 2020. Well, how are you getting on? Good morning, good afternoon, or good night, whatever time you're listening to this. I'm recording this on Sunday night because you know yourself, it's grand and quiet here now, it's grand. This microphone couldn't stop giving me a dose. Stop fucking spinning around, you bastard. Yeah, exciting. I have a light. I have some proper lighting. I was going to set up the pure camera rig and all the rest, but I wanted to see how it would go through the old laptop one. Waiting on Jeff Bezos to send me all the other shit I bought. But thank you very much to Patreons. You bought some proper fucking lighting. I do feel like I need to be given a makeup tutorial or something. It's very weird. Like I've had lights and stuff on me before in the way of the old telly things, but they're they're the kind of lights they never you never cop them really, like. But this yoke is a giant fucking circle of a thing that the Patreons will see on the video. How you'll see it because I just did it in the most comfortable chair in the house, and it's got a big window behind it, and of course there's a giant big circle beaming off the side of my head because I'm that professional. That's how I do it. That's how I do it. My thanks, as always, to the Patreons for supporting the show and sticking with me. There you go. I've done a Ramble Pod. I was wanting to do the Royal Ramble, which is the live one, but again, all these things take preparation, and trying to get the fucking preparation time, just, for fuck's sake, just trying to get stuff put together and all the rest of it for there will be a live show tomorrow night. This fucking thing is doing my head in. This is a microphone stand that I never normally use, and there's a good reason for that. Because I think it went in shit from being in the boot of the car. The microphone just keeps on going, no, I'm just going to lean over this way now. Do you know, I'm not in the mood for this, Tom. It's actually moving in front of me like a bold child. Like, I'm not, I didn't hit you. I'm just swinging my arms in this direction. If I end up hitting off you, that means you hit me. So, you know, it's not my fault. Oh, Jesus Christ. Techie fucking crap. Gives me a dose. So yeah, just getting that right and getting the fucking scripting right and everything for all the boys, because they don't see any of this stuff. The contestants don't see any of this stuff. Anybody on the Patreons who saw the pilot, and a handful of friends saw the pilot, people seem to really like it. Well, it's going to be even more dialed in for episode 1, essentially, for Buckshot Sideshow. People are going, what the fuck is he talking about, that have never listened to this podcast before? It's the new game show that we're bringing out on Tuesday. So we've had a pilot run, may release the pilot for the crack down the line, but really it was just a tester, you know what I mean, just to see how I'd have feeling it would go, because we put this much work into the thing, and it's going to be even more dialed in and buttoned in come Tuesday night. So 8 p.m. Tuesday night, Mickey Bartlett, Jerry McBride, Steve Cummins and Jim Elliott are going to be the first contestants. We'll have the boys for a while, and we'll switch in and out. People get some new people on board and all the rest of it, people that are fucking, just once they get a grasp of it, because people, I'm guessing at the minute, are going, I don't know what it is, Tom, including the comedians. So the boys they'll be the ones to run it first, and then, you know, once the vibe and the crack is gotten, people be ready to jump on board. So 8 p.m, put it in the diaries. I'll be putting links up everywhere as to all my social platforms. We may get to be able to put it through some of the boys' social platforms as well, but Tom O'Mahony Comedy, whether it's on YouTube, I don't know why I said it, YouTube, like Paul O'Connell or something. I put it, it'll be out live on YouTube, Facebook, and Periscope, which is, you know, it's Twitter, essentially. Like I said before, Instagram are doing their own thing, you know what I mean? So, and you can't do anything with Instagram. You can do stuff with this, so there'll be text up on the screen. There'll be hopefully a bit of backing music, if we can decide on what music to use for different rounds and stuff like that. We'll have it. It got flagged for licensing the other day for using the thing off YouTube, but sure, look, at if it only got flagged, nobody got too pissy about it. It got flagged, and that was the pilot, the unlisted pilot. So I don't know. YouTube may end up having a pisser over it. I don't know. We'll see. Facebook should be fine. So I would imagine that's where most people will go. It's kind of the gamers and whatnot, I'm guessing, watching on YouTube, but it'll be there to watch afterwards, hopefully on YouTube, if the whole thing doesn't get pulled or whatever. But there it is. I think most people are probably subscribing to my Facebook page anyway, or Twitter. If you're not, jump over there. Tom O'Mahony Comedy. Find it for Tuesday night. It's going to be savage crack. It was savage crack to do it, and it's going to be savage crack again. And I'd say, and that definitely comes across, because everybody was like, oh no, this is good. This is good crack. We get this, like, because this is a forum that already goes on telly. Do you know what I mean? This goes on telly. Live stand up doesn't really go on telly without an audience, you know, that kind of way. And you never see the audience or get the vibe. It could be canned laughter in a fucking whatchamacallit, which we're not going to do. We're not going to do that. That's one thing I refuse to do, because it's like, oh, come on. Come on. At least if it was canned laughter on a TV show, you go, maybe they have an audience. But with us, we're in 5 different places. We're going to be in 5 different fucking places. So, this, unless all of us have brought our family around to sample some of it and just sit in the background, just laugh simultaneously. No. But we had enough crack that I think it kind of carried itself, you know, that kind of way. The Mary Wallopers. A lot of people love the Mary. If you haven't listened to the Mary Wallopers episode, go back and listen to it. Oh, few people, in fairness, very complimentary, like who had never heard of me or whatever. I'd been following the lads for years, and that's the best interview we've ever come across. The video of that will be going up shortly on the Patreon page. I have a fucking bunch. I have about 5 or 6 interview videos to go up, and things will improve because the lighting and whatnot, and the webcam on the way. But because the internet has sorted it, we've gotten that sorted. Things look a little bit sharper. I won't lie, they're starting to look a little bit sharper. I'll have it all sorted by the time this shit is over. The pandemic will be over. But you know what? It's opened, you know, where you don't have to be waiting for somebody to come home from America to do a fucking gig or do a podcast. So, you know, I'd always said I wouldn't do it, but I found a way of that. I can do it as well as I can do it. I never had an interest in doing it through Skype or Zoom before, but because there is better crack to sit there with somebody, but fuck it. Needs must. And you know what? People seem to enjoy it regardless. So maybe I was wrong. Maybe I was wrong about it. It's worth sticking with anyway. Fuck it, I'm going to stick with it now because the patrons have paid for a webcam and some lighting and a new mic. Wait, the microphone. No, we have the microphone sorted for Skype calling and whatnot. So you'll notice even on Harden Up podcast now this coming week, and even with the Mary Wallopers, my tunes were a bit better. Just need to dial that in. But I tell you, they're a hell of a lot better than what they were. And we have an improvement coming with some better cabling and all the rest of it. So look at lads, I'm learning on the go. I'll let you know. I'll fill you in. Anybody, I have been filling people in on podcasts, so as I'm learning on the go. So, I did somebody else's podcast. I did Michael Rice's podcast. Mike Rice, he's a comedian from Kilkenny. Very good. He was on, I think he might have been on the Vodafone Comedy Carnival as well, on the one in Galway. That's up on YouTube that had aired on television, Laughter in the Air. I think Mike got a slot on it. So he's a hell of a nice fella. He's had his own kind of solo meandering podcast before, kind of a Ramble pod version of a thing. He was in London. He was trying to make a go of it. He's relatively new, you know what I mean? But a big personality. And he was making a go of it in London. He was doing his spots. He was fucking doing all his spots, and he was doing his time, and he was trekking up and down that city. Then that fucking virus hit. He'd only gone there like we didn't get talking about it, but he'd only gone there a very short period of time. Before he knew it, slapped back to the fucking farm in Kilkenny. So I think he's just trying to get his creative vibes out there. So check out Mike Rice's podcast. I don't know when I'm on, possibly next week. So it's kicking off this week. I think he has somebody else on, and then I think it might be on next or whatever. I think he might be racking them up. It's one of the many ones that myself and Owen Colgan have been on, one after another. So we're kind of suggesting now, maybe, I know people are trying to get, maybe an each episode out, but it might be handier if they just get the two of us on. You know what I mean? Just kill 2 birds with 1 stone. So it would seem either I'm doing it ahead of Owen, or vice versa, because of another sports one that he's done already, and the Hardy Bucks I think are doing one, and then they're having me on. So, and you can't say no, because I have begged, borrowed and stolen enough fucking email addresses, phone numbers and favors to get people on the podcast, because I think it's exploding now, but like a year ago even, people were like, RF, what? Genuinely, people are going, I know people are listening to this going, man, I've been listening to podcasts for like 10 years. Yes, you have. But a fucking lot of people haven't. They're still going, what? Is it on the radio? Kinda. Well, in the car? Yeah, kinda if you want, but it's really in your phone. It's on the internet. Yeah, it's the radio. Yeah, it's the radio. So that's where we're at still. Still, even though there are like 700 or 800,000 podcasts now, you know, they come and go. So, while there's 7 or 800,000 of them, I'm guessing that's a fluctuating number of the actual individuals who are doing it. Fuck's sake, I'm involved in, well, this plus, like 3 at least, /4 with the Tom and Jerry show, which I've been peppering in and out there when we're just to keep at least 2 or 3 podcasts out a week. And yes, like I said, the Hard Enough podcast number 10, we got it done. Owen's internet shit in bed in the middle. We did it over 2 nights as well. But it's fine. We got it like an hour and a half of a podcast out. So that's currently up on the Patreon page. Another reason why to go and support the podcast is you're getting juicy stuff ahead of time. It won't be out till Wednesday. So if you're desperate to go listen to it and you want to contribute to the podcast, that's where you go. Go down, scroll down on your phone to the Patreon page, show notes. Go, yeah, go on. Sound lovely. And you're in. You get to listen to it ahead of time. And you'll get the videos. The Mary Wallopers video is very, very good. Like, because, they're actual musicians and they're playing and there's 3 lads. It's a good video, you know what I mean? If you want to see people's reactions and stuff, like, the boys had me fucking in stitches. You could tell they were used to their own show because they have a live show, which I watched on Friday night. They have a live show from their fucking pub and they're getting it really well filmed. Like, cutaways to the 3 lads, wide shots, cutaways to the 2 lads they have kind of sitting to the side. Like, it's a proper show, you know what I mean? It's a properly produced show, and the lads are singing songs, giving shout outs, having competitions. Like, it could easily be on TV. It could easily be on TV. All that footage easily ready for a TV show. Go have a look at it. If you go through the last episode, click down on the link in the show notes for their YouTube page. Go and just have a look at last Friday's. It's ridiculous, and the lads' personalities and everything. You're like, Jesus Christ, the dynamic here. Where have you been? And why don't you have your own show? I could say the same thing myself. And, well, they do have their own show, and they're flying it because their donations, they're getting huge numbers because the lads are quite literally drinking during the show. So, it's a Friday night. If you've not on, which most of us have not on, it's well worth it. It's well worth it. So, anything else to promote or tell you about? No, I don't really. That's everything for the time being. The country's been hit by thunderstorms. We'd all fucking sunburn last week, and now we're getting, hello, Ireland. For anybody outside Ireland who's living in an environment where the weather is exactly as it was last year and exactly as pre-prescribed, you won't understand this, but Ireland quite literally can have the 4 seasons in one day. Jacket, freezing, fucking pissing down rain, and then it can definitely have winter and summer in the one day, no bother. And then I suppose spring and autumn or something in between, aren't they? Jesus, Mary and Joseph, how the fuck do the flowers know to come out in this place? How does that know to grow in this fucking place? Because fucking hell, tonight there's it's quite literally thunder and lightning storms last night, and here we are today. And she's all the sun back out going, hey, sorry. It's like the weather's fucking flaming drunk, isn't it? The weather is rotten drunk. And it's like, gets wild and fucks up and throws your furniture around the place, pisses in your fucking garden. And then, you know what I mean, throws fucking rocks at your window, gets sick in the fucking sink, crashes your car. And then the next morning, the sun's out and it's like, well, what's the crack? And you're like, what's the fucking crack? What was that shit last night? What? What did I do? See my wheelie bin up in that tree? Did you? Did you see my wheelie bin up in that tree? Oh, yeah. Why did you put it there? I didn't put it there. You put it there, Weather. You fucking put it there. You put it there. See, my whole lawn now has moved 4 feet down the hill. Have you seen that? Wow, I have never seen that before. Really? Because you did it effortlessly last night when you were fucked up off your head. Whoa. I am so sorry. Well, Weather, you better get your shit together because we're going to have to fucking, we're going to have to review your position here if you keep this shit up. I'm sorry. I don't apologize. The reality is there's weathers in fucking Germany that are exactly on time every year, all season round. Well, that's the fucking Germans. Don't give me that shit. Look, it's the Irish way. We drink. We get drunk. I do some crazy shit, but when I come around, I'm good crack. And to be honest with you, you're stuck with me. You can't actually get rid of me. So, just saying. Well, fuck you, Weather, you're right. Bastard. And that's our relationship with the fucking weather here. We understand it's a drunk family member that we can't get rid of. And we just have to put up with it. I'm fucking delighted with that bit there now. That just came up. Let's fucking... I don't need to write it down. It's recorded. That could be developed. I think that could be developed into a bit of a character. Yeah, we might do a bit on that. It won't be a long-standing bit because enough people have done stuff on the weather and all the rest of it, but I think it might be a little bit of a jolly for when we do finally get back, Keegan. Oh, Jesus, do I have an axe to grind? Oh, I don't really. I'm over it. I was fairly annoyed Friday night, people. I know there's a few people probably listen to this podcast right now who don't listen to it on a regular basis, but they're probably tuning in just to go, what the fuck? Open first disclaimer before I get into anything. No comedy club, including my beloved Laughter Lounge, who I've had a fantastic relationship, most definitely not the Laughter Lounge, not any of their staff, had anything to do with the carry-on that went on Thursday and Friday night, preceding the gig that I was supposed to be doing on Saturday night down in Limerick, which I told you all about. That's the number one disclaimer. So, any of the comedians who were not engaging in my posts, who were shitting it going as Tom waged a war on the Laughter Lounge, no, I haven't. The Laughter Lounge, I'm closer to the Laughter Lounge than any other club in the country. I talk about it so much here. I used to record my fucking podcast in there. No. To the handful of comedians that made contact and found out, So, people were reading between the lines and getting all sorts. I put a post up on my Facebook page over the weekend on the Friday night because I was just fucking devastated, right? I wasn't... Devastated is the wrong word. It sounds too fucking dramatic. I'm not that kind of bitch, right? But we were to do this gig down on Saturday night, down in Limerick, at the racecourse. It was actually looking sweet as a fucking nut. I talked about it. I said, I don't know. I was helped organise the thing. It was kind of half my idea. Really, the production company they were the runners. You know what I mean? They were putting on a show of cinema anyway down there. And the producer of the company, the events company, went, what do you think? And I'm like, yeah. Through a conversation, we ended up thinking, stand-up is the way to go. We put together the acts, the whole lot. It was all, you know what was going on. And then Friday night, going doing the shopping. Friday evening, afternoon, going doing the shopping. Happened to text the owner of the company. How are things going? He says, up until about 20 minutes ago, they were going fucking brilliant. We're almost sold out. We're at 95% capacity. Fucking awesome. But what was that other bit you said in your sentence there? Yeah. Hold on a minute. I'll let you know. Right, so next thing I get copies of these emails come through. So essentially what had happened was, wind the clock back 3-4 weeks ago. And this is where people thought it was something to do with the Laughter Lounge. The Laughter Lounge were doing something very similar. I won't lie. I think we thought about it about the same time. I didn't see it being the same thing at all because we didn't really know what the lads knew. It was thereabouts anyway. Even if subconsciously I did rob the idea, it was just setting up. That's what it was. They tried to do the exact same thing in Blanchardstown a couple of weeks ago. But during phase 1 or whatever, I got shut down so much way. I don't know how, nor it's not my business. Whatever way it happened, right? I've been told it was a particular individual pointed out that who was annoyed that they were encroaching in his business. I don't know. I'm going no further with this thing. But and even on, I wasn't an investigative piece, the post I put up, it got shut down. The 2 gigs got pulled that day. Fucking devastated. Totally wired. Eric Lawler, Danny O'Brien, and Enya Martin. All on my podcast. All friends, right? Fucking horrible. We thought we were shitting it because we're like, oh fuck. Well, it's too early. It's still early enough. If it ain't a goer, ain't a goer. But the way it was timed was that it was going to be into this phase 2. So we were fingers crossed. Everything had been put through. All the safety statements, all the security measures, and the cops and superintendent down in Limerick were like, absolutely. This is perfect. Everything's eased. The cinema's going ahead, lovely. Yeah, brilliant. And sure, cinema. So the 3 films were to be on throughout the day. While all the gear was there, they were going to build this amazing stage for us with a big LED screen behind us. And the cars were going to be out front. It was like 8 or 9 meters away was the first row of cars, and a row. It looked great. It looked great on the drone footage. And then the cops were okay. They says, yeah, absolutely. A bloke with a microphone. Yeah, brilliant. So it was to be me, Carl Spain, Joe Rooney, and Farmer Michael. Wouldn't you know it? Have all been on my podcast. Turns out a guy who had been involved with helping produce the event for the Laughter Lounge. I don't know if he owns the company or does he work for him, what's the crack. This guy sent an email through to the guards and the racecourse owner down in Limerick. The racecourse owner was like, whatever. And it was essentially pointing out legislation that doesn't allow a comedy event, a live event, in any capacity. In any capacity. And even the superintendent was like, well, that's bullshit. Fuck. But he has written a fucking email. By law, by my job, I can't just... Like, I know it's perfect. The whole world and their mother knew it was perfect. The 95% of customers knew it was perfectly safe. If it's perfectly safe for the fucking Back to the Future to be on, it's perfectly safe for Tom to be telling a few fucking dick jokes up there. You know what I mean? They may not be great, but they're going to be fucking jokes. That's all they are from a distance. Even if I had the bubonic fucking plague at that distance inside your car, you ain't getting it. You know what I mean? Granted, Carl might get it the next time I hand him the mic, but you ain't getting anything off me. So everybody could see the reality of the scenario. But this guy sent a clip of this and then questioned like the fucking structure being built down there. Even though he was in our nation's capital, he was passing judgment on a situation that he'd seen nothing of. He hadn't been to site, and he made claims about the whole fucking thing. That it may not be dangerous, and we're like, oh man. So that's when I wrote this post, and this post is up there, it's publicly, you can see it. I didn't actually slander anybody. I just wrote the facts. Oh man, I just wanted to fucking do stand-up. Are you fucking joking me? I just want to do stand-up. Let me do fucking stand-up. I want these boys to do stand-up. I want all the stand-ups back working. This was going to set precedence, because had the Laughter Lounge gotten their one, we all would have been off to the fucking races, but they didn't. So we were in phase 2. We were the next ones in the country. We were in phase 2. We had fingers crossed. Everybody was watching it, from events companies, the whole lot, to club owners. They were all watching. Fingers crossed that this would go ahead. We weren't in competition with anybody. The word competition is out the fucking window right now because nobody's doing nothing. Everything's gone sideways. And as I say, rising tides lift all boats. That's the fucking view the smart people had on the thing. And this motherfucker had a hump on a hunch that the production company of our gig was the one who sabotaged his one in Dublin. It fucking wasn't. It wasn't. He'd proof. You know, the guy had no proof. It was only a guess. And he was completely in the fucking wrong. The dude has since apologised, said he jumped the gun, he this, that, and the other, and look, and people are still, you know, and I kind of want to take down the post, not because I'm embarrassed by it or anything like that, but that's not, like, the continuation of this shit going, yeah, but what did he think, and what did he, and that is absolutely not me. I am in no way a fucking whinge bag about that kind of, it's like fucking just, gone, grand, fine, done. I'll accept. Do you know what? I'll put it together in my head like it was an act of God, in that the wind and rain had stopped us, and it's just a stumbling block. We'll get on to the next one. So that's to clarify. That's exactly what happened, and that's how the show got shut down. I don't need anybody else to tell me, oh, what a cunt move. Yes, you're right. You're right. But come Saturday morning, I was like, I'm done. Move on. How do we now sweet talk whoever is writing this legislation? Because it's alcohol. That's what it is. People are like, I think I know what the problem is, and it's to do with FM licenses. It's fucking not. It's nothing to do with that. That was covered. That's covered. And I'll tell you one thing. Even if it wasn't fucking covered, we would have jacked up big ass fucking speakers, Put your windows down a little bit. Put your windows down an inch. Do you know what? Turn the fucking speakers up. Leave your windows up. I'm going to fucking bust your windows with my voice. We would have done something. But, so the FMs, but that wasn't it. What it is written in legislation that you cannot have basically a live entertainment event in front of a group of people, regardless of what the fuck you're planning on doing. Whether they stay in the car, or you're up on a stage at a disc, doesn't matter. And here's why. They're terrified of people drinking and not following guidelines. That's what it is. No other complications, just fucking drinking. And the guards had basically said, the only thing I'm going to ask you to do is make sure people stay in their cars. That's it. That's why security was hired, for exactly that purpose. You ain't bouncing anybody, you're just making sure you scan through the fucking window. That's all it was. So the very fact that the highest level of guard down there had absolutely no problem with it. They had to send it to Dublin because it came through as a formal complaint. Some mad whore just rang up and said, "Hi, I think I have a problem with my nana's vet's a fucking friend's mother." Yes, of course people have been affected by this, but this is the number one fucking way this is number one way. There was going to be nobody at risk. The only risk was going to be inside their own car to each other. That was the only risk. So that's on you. So they were going to scan out through the windows. They were going to fucking and make sure people didn't get out of their cars. It was going to be a fast show. We're going to put the foot to the floor and be done in an hour and 40 minutes tops. Hold your piss. There is a couple of jaxes there if you're bursting, but have your piss done before you get here. Use your fucking head. If you're heading out for 2 hours, if all it is 10 minutes to the gig, or if you're heading out for 2.5 hours, piss up the road or piss before you leave the house. Have it done. We have an emergency toilet. People were logical. People were able to go to the kids' movie early in the day with kids. So that was none of the issue before anybody else messaged me with any. I think, you know what? I think if you have a non-licensed BI, no. None of that. None of that was being pulled on. None of it. The cop was having none of it. 300-page safety statement came through. He's like, okay, go ahead. I think it's a fucking great notion. Nothing has happened around this area for 4 fucking months. Few people are going to get a fucking job out of this. This is great. And that's what happened. Got pulled because you got to send it to Dublin when you get there. And HQ got it, and HQ went, fuck lads, we don't know what you're doing down there. And if a cop from down there is sending it to those cops up here, all we can do is advise against it and say, technically you're not breaking the law, but it is against legislation, so we may actually have to ask you to enforce it. We were going to drive on. Friday night I was like, fuck all this, but they'd refunded tickets and all the rest of it. So that was the outcome of it. Everybody, both in Dublin and Limerick, stood around in authority going, I don't know. I don't fucking know. The safest thing to do. Because, again, legislation had just been written loosely, which I understand. It must be written at a fucking 100 miles an hour at the moment, because you're making weird legislation for everything down to fucking chippers. You know what I mean? So, and that was my thing. It was like, come on, you're going to tell me it's like, so people were going, oh, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. No. If you can get a bunch of fucking crazy looking women in pajamas queuing outside fucking Pennies at 3 a.m. in the morning, fucking coughing and spluttering in each other's faces, it isn't a distancing thing. It's alcohol. And that's what the fucking issue was. So, all done and dusted, it got pulled. Like I said, done. Now, we've rebooked the place for the weekend of the 27th. And on Friday, now they're going to go ahead with their movies because everything's okay with movies. But on Friday the 26th, we've booked the place again. Fucking right we have. Because what do? Do you shit the bed? Do you hope that somebody else, some big fucking sugar daddy comes in and sorts the fucking problem for you? No, you don't. You put on your fucking big boy trousers and you fucking do it again. And you keep fucking doing it until they let us in. Now that legislation, the silliness of the legislation has been pointed out, I don't know. It can go one of two ways. They can go, absolutely not, Tom. This is still fucking red raw. Since the last one. people are fucking still pissing their pants. Nobody knows why they're pissing their pants. There's this invisible fucking scary person. But even the people, that are, supposedly, nobody's an expert in this thing. That's the fucking problem. There isn't like a long chain of this event going on. So the problem being is that nobody knows who to turn to get the total green light on it. And that's where we may also play our hand and go, well, if nobody knows why we can't have it, then nobody knows why we can't have it. So let's fucking have it. And let's see what happens. Because the cinemas went well. Nobody had a fucking problem there. It all went sweet as a fucking nut. So, Friday the 26th. I don't know till we start a petition. I'm not really into that shit. I'm just hoping that logic will fucking play out. We booked the place. Fucking rented it out. So we're going to try and go back and do it again. I hope the three boys come on board with it. And are not spooked by the whole thing. Fuck getting spooked in this day and age. Anyway, I say. The whole world has gone to hell in a fucking handbasket. Everything's gone fucking sideways. There's nothing off the books anymore. And that was the thing. A lot of comics, I think, were probably worried about fucking engaging with me on the thing because they were like, oh, Jesus, what if big people down the line see that? And this is the thing. I've been fucking nervous of it too sometimes when you see somebody posting a controversial fucking firestorm. And it's like, even if you don't read it fully, it's like, oh, Jesus Christ, I can't get involved in that because that leads to that. Fuck the politics of the whole thing. There's no politics anymore. Almost everything has gone to the fucking wall right now. This fucking America's burning to the fucking ground. England is burning to the fucking ground right now. Fuck me. There's a club, pub, or fucking McDonald's even probably fucking open right now. Everything's gone sideways. So, it's time to put on your fucking big girl or your big boy trousers and just fucking crack on. And that's where we are. And that is the entirety of the question, of the story. And I will speak no further about it, other than trying to promote the new night. So we try and make a fucking crack off this thing again. Strong possibility we're going to get a big old kick in the nuts because it's still too fucking raw and all the rest of it. But I'm an ignorant cunt. I'm going to keep fucking going at this. Because I ain't giving up. Fuck it. What the fuck else am I going to do? You just got to fucking keep going, don't you? And yeah, I mean, the shining light being fucking New Zealand right now. I was on such a buzz. I got put in such good form Saturday fucking morning. To anybody who has no idea what I'm talking about, New Zealand is fucking clean as a whistle right now. Clean as a whistle. They had 25,000 people show up to the Highlanders, and who the fuck are they playing? Regardless, anyway, the Crusaders played the Blues later on in the weekend, this morning, and they had 43,000 show up at the game. 43,000 people going fucking wild. Never was I so fucking jealous of a foreign fucking rugby setup, of a fucking stadium. Imagine the fucking sesh, the crack at that. Can you imagine it? You're out like fucking cows after the winter. For you, kicking your fucking heels up into the air, going absolutely batshit crazy. Can you imagine it? Oh my lord, the excitement. And you're left out to see your favourite fucking team play in your favourite fucking sport. You know, win, lose or draw. Who gives a shit? Do you know you're getting fucking sauced up? Everybody's singing songs. Your fucking Prime Minister's class, you know. They're in such a fucking... And, you know, they've got fucking hobbits. They've got Lord of the fucking Rings. They got skiing in the fucking... during the morning, surfing during the evening, whatever you want to do. That's, you know, it is an incredible place and they've gotten their shit together. And fingers crossed, we can get there too. We will get there too. We will. It's a pain in the fucking bollocks right now. Or in your lady bollocks, whatever fucking kind of bollocks you have, metaphorically speaking. Your bollocks have a fucking major pain in them right now. My bollocks hasn't had a pain like this ever before. But it's that fucking, you know when you get it, I don't know what the equivalent fucking pain is, but there's a dullness that comes through your fucking lower half of your body when you get just even a flick on the balls. It's like this, if a fucking pain could make a sound, it'd be like, throughout all the lower part of your body. And all you can do is just go, and You'll roll on the ground, you'll cry if you've got the time to do it. But if you're in the middle of something, like, you know, running out down a fucking burning building and something hits you in the nuts, you still feel it. You just go, fuck. Like, it's either hang around and burn to fucking death with a pair of less sore balls and fucking harrow through this pain, or just fucking drive on. And that's all we can fucking do, is drive on, hope where we get. See, this is I fucking hate this, because I've made it a policy of not being all Corona on you guys, and I fucking made it a policy of not being about that shit. But the situation over the weekend needed quick addressing, and there it is. It's quickly fucking addressed. Put to bed. Let's drive on, because if we can get this gig going. Because there's a bunch of gigs planned around the country. Like, a couple of people have, I think, fucking, what's his name? The red-haired lad, unbelievable singer. Came out about the same time as Ed Sheeran. Fuck, my brain is absolutely fucking mush right now. Gavin James. Gavin James is booked to fucking play somewhere, and there's a big gig down in the INEC in Killarney, something similar in July, and all of it could look hairy, you know. So hopefully, we can pull this one off. We can all go see some shit. I reckon it'll set off a chain of events. Literally, a chain of actual events popping up fucking everywhere. The precedents will be set. What do you do? Here's what you do. And there you go. So, fingers fucking crossed. Now, just to reiterate. That's done with, by the way. Putting that fucking away. Just to reiterate. The good crack times are coming back anyway. This Tuesday night. You're doing nothing. You're not training. You're not going out to the pub. You're going to be at home, unless you work an evening shift. And you know what? Nobody else will probably be around. Nip to the jacks. Follow me on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter. Or we're going to see, can we get the boys on? Just a couple of their fucking socials. They'll all make you fully aware. If I guarantee you, through the Venn diagram of people and listeners and fucking fans of other people, you will all at least follow one of us. If it's not me, it's Mickey, it's Jim, it's Steve, or it's Jerry. Do you know? You'll all have come across him at some stage before. You most likely, a lot of you probably follow all of us. So there'll be one. It'll be definitely on my social platform. We'll see of who else we'll get it onto as well. But it'll go out on a few fucking places, so you'll get to see it. It'll be there for you afterwards, and I'll probably I'm not going to bother with downloading the audio. Well, maybe I will rip the audio from it and throw it up on the podcast. Maybe I will. I don't know if it'll come across. It could sound weird. So, I love what you're doing there. You know, maybe, fuck it. That's for discussion for another time. Thank you very much for listening. I've gone over. Yeah, I planned on only doing half an hour. I've gone over. Once again, thank you very much to the Patreons. We're still nice and bright. It still looks good. I'll throw this video up on Patreon for you to say thanks very much for the light. You can see it. It's in the fucking window behind me. So unprofessional. What is that? Oh, that's kind of creepy. What's that behind me there? Oh, it's the fucking laptop screen. For the love of Jesus, Tom. Here I was thinking I was in a horror movie that was some fucking... Imagine that. You're doing a podcast, you're recording away. Imagine if I was doing it live. Oh my God! If I was doing the Get Vocal on the Royal Ramble, and you just saw like a white dressed girl with fucking black hair down it. Oh my God! If my wife hears this, she's definitely going to do that to me. Okay, I'll be pulling the curtains the next night, lads, just to let you know. Fuck! Oh Jesus! Subscribe to all the usual platforms as per the reasons why. If you're first time listening to the podcast, I'm guessing you only came on board for one reason, and you've gotten your reasons now. And hit subscribe, you bollocks, because there's lots of people, there's lots of people turning out some juicy stuff. Go back and listen to the last few podcasts. You can see what I'm talking about. If you do want to support the podcast, you know what to do. Patreon, it's there for you. If you're very new to this, go back. So a lot of these podcast apps only show you like the top 3, the top 10. There's fucking over 250 episodes of stuff up there. So if you just want to listen to, me and a lot of other people being interviewed and all the rest of it, go find surely bit of shit. There's somebody in there you like. There's somebody in there like. It's not the mighty Paul Howard of Rossa Carl Kelly. It's fucking Eddie O'Sullivan or Samantha Mumber, or it's even Tom Green way at the back. Who PJ Keller's been on a couple of times. There's loads. There's loads. And it's all good crack. Share it. If you don't want to support with a couple old bob, because times are tight at the minute, just share it. Throw it out there on whatever platform you're usually on. A couple of lads have been very sound doing that of late. Just grab the links. You'll see it. And fuck it on out there. To the internet. And tell everybody about it. Because it'll bring more people into the Buckshot/RamblePod family. Right. That's that. I'll see. Well, I won't. But you'll see me hopefully on Tuesday night. 8 p.m. Stick it in the book. Bring on a couple of cans. By the way, you'll be able to comment and we'll be able to intermittently pop over and see all the comments as well. So if you're watching on any of those 3 platforms, fucking let us know. Or say something, insulting. No problem. Because there will be insults flying back and forth. I'm going to be hosting it. So the lads are getting fucking roasted. We'll be able to see them all and we will be giving shout outs to the greatest and best gang that fucking... Is that time? So we will be able to... fucking... There's some creepy shit happening. Oh, it was a moth. I was wondering what it was. A fucking moth just flew across the front of the little digital screen on the recorder. Oh, Jesus Christ almighty. I shouldn't be doing this in the dark. I'm petrified by myself, lads. Thanks for joining me. Right. Talk to you on Tuesday. Good night and God bless.